Boom shakalaka. Today's video, I am joined by expert trader Crypto Lifer, where we're going to talk about exactly what is going on with the market and why you can be both bullish and bearish with what's going on. Guys, this guy was in Cardano back when it was 2 cents, in VeChain when it was a cent. He has gone so deeply into the charts that he has reverse engineered the green dots of Market Cipher. And towards the end of the video, we will be both sharing our 5 bear proof altcoins you need to own if indeed this is a bear market. Stay tuned.
So what's up, Crypto Love, man? How you been?
Oh man, I'm doing great. I'm loving all this action. It's fun to kind of sit back and watch what's going on, see the manipulation, see the terror, the fear. It's crazy how fast it flopped from like 100% greed to 100% fear. It was literally like Saturday Night Live when Elon was on, before everybody was greedy, after everyone was fearful. And it's unfounded, but it's there, and we got to deal with it. And so we're going to see where this is going to take us.
Now, there's something weird about mainstream media, right? Like, I'm pretty sure I saw you say it before. I've said it. I've seen other people. The second, like, CNBC makes a bullish statement, it's like, put a short out immediately. It's weird. It's like, you know, they're always hating. They're always down on us. And then we have a bullish week or month. And then, you know, the second the whole world was on the Doge train, I got a really weird, there was a weird feeling for me. I couldn't like place it. I couldn't say I knew exactly what was going on, but there was a weird feeling for me, you know, because I was like, huh. I was happy for the millionaires and like the people that made their money on this little coin, but I don't know.
Yeah, it seemed like people lost any concept of what good cryptocurrency was. Like everybody was jumping on Dogecoin and then Shiba Coin and then any other dog related meme, and they were all over ETH Classic, and so like they were all over these coins that really, why? I was scratching my head, being like, well, this is what cryptocurrency has turned into. We chase after some memes and some old worthless coins.
See, the sad thing for me is I'm like flipped. Like I'm the kid whose parents got divorced, and I love them both. I don't love meme coins, and I'm not all into the memes. But what happened was I had my regular holdings, you know, and I'm really good at researching. You taught me well, and, you know, did my Cardanos cheap, did my VeChains under 2 cents, you know, got all my bags in November, loaded up hard. I'm still up very well compared to most people. I'm still up actually literally like a 4.5x complete on my entire portfolio. So staying blessed, like, you know, if things don't rock anymore. But the idea is like, I threw like a 300, somehow I was going into the recent newly added coins on CoinGecko. You know, we would do that. We'd go over the tech TA for an hour, and my stream was 2 hours long. And I kept, you know, in the corner of my eye, I kept seeing like 2,400%, like 1,300%. I was like, what? Like, what is that? And I kept like not knowing how or why or what the hell. And I just dismissed it. And one day, somehow, SafeMoon, like the day or two it came out, and I was like, all right, I'll put like $300 in it. I was like, all right, I'll put $300. And my friend, who also was very wealthy, was like, yo, I'll go in like with you. Let's both put 1,000. Like, I don't care. Like, if I lose it all, like, I don't give a damn. Like, you know, I was like, all right, cool. So like, then we put like $2,200 in it, like the next day. It still to this day is like probably like $70,000. No lie. And at the highest point, it was like 220 grand. So like, and like it's I hate crazy. It like, and you know, and so I was saying, because I run a trading group, and I kept the discipline, and I said, guys, and we started being like, is it bullish, is it bearish, or is it meme-ish? You know, it was like a joke, like. And I kept saying 1% or less. I said 0.01% of your portfolio. I said, I said, we can do this. I said, but we can only do this with the tiniest bits. I said, you know, if your net worth was 100 grand, put $300 in. I was putting $300 in these things, no more. And, but at the same time, I got caught into the train. Like, I was on a tutoring session and the guy's like, yeah, Shiba, just Shiba coin. And I'm like, what is it? And he's like, all right, I put $300 in Shiba Uno. This is before anyone knows. April 16th. I put a trade out for it because it was in a diamond to my group on April 18th. I said, this thing looks, I just do TA. I don't care what it is. Like, I'll do strictly TA. And if the TA says yes, so I did the TA Shiba Uno. I say, I can show it to you. April 18th, I put the call out to like a few hundred of my patrons. And boom. Next thing you know, I have $4,000. A few weeks later, I only have 1,200. And I'm like, why didn't I take the $4,000? I'm an idiot. So a few weeks later again, I have $4,000 again. And I'm about to go to bed. It's 1 a.m. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take my $4,000, man. This is ridiculous. So I sell the $4,000. The next morning is the morning it had the biggest candle. It was the biggest green dildo I've ever seen in my life, of any candle in my whole life. I called my wife. I said, and I did the math. I would have made 70,000. 70,000, right? Oh, well, but it just not to get into the means. It's just a funny, ridiculous story how even I, who was like, consistent, heavy trader, just like didn't want anything to do with these coins. Like I would every day say like, I hate these coins, but like I can't say like, once one kept growing, I was like, well, why can't I just keep throwing a few $100 in another one? Because, who knows where it can end bloody for everybody at the end of the day. Like just sell them, but
Yeah. Well, I think the thing that's difficult to realize is that when you're holding coins, like let's say you have 100 coins and your coins are worth $1,000. If everybody was to have the idea that that 100 coins is worth $1,000 and everybody went to sell, you wouldn't be able to. So it's kind of an illusion that we have with cryptocurrency or stocks or anything, that it actually has the value that it's selling for now. Because that value that it's selling for now is only there because there's people willing to buy it. As soon as everyone wants to sell it, and that's what happens with a lot of these things, where the price goes up and then it just tanks because there's whales waiting on the sideline to smart money waiting to take it from dumb money. And that's,
well, I mean, is this a bad analogy? Like you could sell ice cream on a hot summer day and pump it up, but like you can go out in 32 degrees in Boston on a corner, like on February, like no one's buying that ice. So like, right, you can sell things when people want them, when there's a hype in it, but that's the price at their desired pump time, right? Like, you kept teaching me and teaching me, and I'm still like a little bit stubborn. Just keep saying
but that's a good
don't
analogy.
hodl alts and and degenerate and all the coins of degenerators.
So that's a good analogy, but for cryptocurrency, I don't think it's accurate because, what is there? Baskin Robbins has like 32 flavors of ice cream. There's 9,000 cryptocurrencies. Last bull run, there was like 3,000 or 4,000. And I'm sure next time there's going to be 50,000. So it's like, ice cream you can sell every summer, but altcoins you can't. You can't even sell next month for the same profit you got this month. So like altcoins, you always have to be taking profit. That's my 2 cents.
Always, man. Like, always. Like, I got really lucky this run. Like, found cake at 60 cents. Just put a couple grand in. Like, thought nothing of it. At one point it was in triple figures. Like, I'm still kind of like, this market was a bit absurd. Like, if this is all we got, it was amazing. I'll be honest. It was amazing. It was an amazing run. How do you feel about that? Everyone's here to know. Everyone's watching. Everyone, the question is, right? Are we in a bear market? Are we in a bull market? How do you answer
scared
that?
And it's too early to tell.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. So, a bear market says for multiple months that it has the same trend. And so far we're not in this bearish trend for multiple months. It feels like an eternity, but it's only been for about a month or so. So it's hard to tell on that level. And then also if we look at like the 21 and the 34 weekly moving averages to see if those turn into support or resistance, we're right between the two of them. So it's hard to tell. I think that this is unlike anything we've seen previously in cryptocurrency, because previous tops had blow off tops. This one definitely did not. And also none of the other indicators that we have that signal a top are indicating. Right now there was just a lot of greed, and I think there's I find it very, very curious. I'm not sure if that's the word that I'm looking for, but just how the market crashed from 65,000 to
I mean, you could call it cute, you
$35,000.
know, interesting. Yeah.
Right.
Just, yeah.
So
No such thing as a
it
coincidence. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. So it crashed. It dropped by 50%, and then the next day Ray Dalio says, "Hey, I'm in Bitcoin." And then the next day, Carl Icahn says, "Ooh, I think Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are pretty interesting. I'm going to put billions into that." Curious how that stuff happens, you know. And it was also curious how they had all of these FUD articles.
Oh, and
lined
Goldman
up for the
Sachs too.
exact.
Goldman Sachs too. Goldman
Yeah.
Sachs. We're
Well,
going to get
okay,
into
so
Bitcoin now.
I have this theory
And the day we
because
crashed, didn't Wells Fargo too? The day we crashed, 2 days after the day we crashed, no lie, Wells Fargo came out saying we're going to offer a cryptocurrency to the. I'm pretty sure it was Wells Fargo or Morgan
yeah,
Stanley. It was one of the two. But
yeah. So there's this guy Crypto Viewing. He makes some pretty hilarious videos, and so I was just watching one of his where Jamie Dimon mentioned Bitcoin and marijuana in the same sentence, and and so basically he says, "I don't smoke marijuana,
oh
but if
no, yeah,
people want it, we got to figure out how to sell it to them." Same thing with Bitcoin. If people want it, we got to figure out how to sell it to them. So I think that the big scheme in all of this is just crash the price as far as they can. And it may not even be over here. Like, I think we're thinking that $35,000 is some level of support. There literally is no support because cryptocurrency is such a small portion of the world's money. And people who are really experienced at handling money, they'll be able to make the price do whatever they want it to. So, yeah, I don't think it'll go down too far because there are, MicroStrategy, their cost basis is like $24,500, and a lot of the larger investors that I think they see it in the mid $20,000 value range right now. So I don't think it's going to crash forever, but I think they're all tanking the price right now to buy as much as they can so that we can offer these legitimate products like the ETFs or whatever the banks might have, and then they'll make their money on top of that. Yeah.
Now,
I think they're kicking themselves that Elon got in, and then the price went up so quickly. They didn't think that was going to happen. He thought he was late in the game. He actually beat most of the institutional investors into the game, and they want to be part of this game because they realize that it's, when you have a fixed supply of Bitcoin and an infinite amount of money, you do the math, and that means that each Bitcoin is worth infinity dollars. So they're like, I want a piece of this.
interesting. You taught me a lot about trusting in your own research, right? Like, just kind of like, and I remember when ETH was garbage, right? I love ETH, but like the fees were just trying to get something on Uniswap would become almost, it wasn't fun. Like it would take like the fun out of it. Like you'd be like, oh, like let me go find a coin. You'd be like, wait for a pending transaction, pay like $200, and then like even like I would do something in my patrons would be like, oh, like you can buy that, but like I can't buy that. Like that's like he's like I just put like 1,000 into crypto. Like I'm brand new. Like like I'm 22 years old. Like and that's what I love about cryptocurrency too. Like the people I meet, whether I'm consulting them or just having group sessions or just man, I'm meeting 75-year-old people from Maryland that are becoming my friends. Like cool, interesting people that ran companies, ran computer companies. So they're helping me like kind of like advising me on how to run my company now. It's insane the amount. I think the intelligent group of people that are in cryptocurrency. Like maybe it's just me, but I feel like it's a very concentrated group of progressive, mature, and like loving, caring, and people that want to just like see things change in the world, and they want to do it with technology, and it's interesting. What's your take on like AI? Like what's AGI? We have AGI. We have Cardano. What's your take on like artificial intelligent coins? Are you a fan? Is it I never asked you that. I wonder what you think about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, artificial intelligence is definitely a hot button issue now. I don't understand it enough to really talk eloquently about it. And but I think it's definitely interesting because I've always been a fan of evidence and facts and science,
Hmm.
and being able to use that at a rate that's faster than something that the human brain can do, or can connect more sources than the human brain can do, then I think that there's definitely some areas where we could use that.
Hmm. Yeah.
But it's very early on in all of that. I think all of this is very early on. Like we're trying to figure. We all want to be millionaires yesterday. We're trying to figure out everything now, and it's like, guys, the internet that we have right now is pretty exceptional, but it took, I don't know, like 40, 50 years to get it there. And so
Hmm. Hmm.
Bitcoin, we're looking at the first decade for Bitcoin, and that's it. And this is revolutionary technology. This is taking money away from governments. This is like, they've oppressed people for millennia because they printed the money. Now all of a
Totally.
sudden they aren't able to print the money. We can print the money, and it can be a dog meme.
It's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if,
People are
yeah.
people are gonna look back in like 2,000 years and be like, they let governments print money? Are they insane?
Yeah. They gave the keys to the demon. Like, yeah, it's like they gave the cookie jar to the fat kid. Like, what the heck is going on here? Like, like, oh man. I mean, I have a video coming out, top 5 reasons why I'll never sell my Bitcoin, and I break down. That's my next video. I got really excited. I've always been into editing and all this, but I finally like just stepped the game up. I'm like, all right, I'm using DSLRs. I painted a wall in my house green. Like, I went in, like, I was like, whatever, I bought chroma paint, like, and man, that thing looks great now. And I'm just like excited to make more content and to deep dive and to have fun and to enjoy just the idea of reaching people on YouTube and having fun, really just having fun, you know what I'm saying, and enjoying it. But back to like the investing idea was, so like I went into Cake because Ethereum was recently, and in the past few days, I'm sitting there. I had to go through. I was still trying to find some charts that would make sense. I probably went through 200-300 charts. Just I have like my own list of charts just that I've put together on TradingView. Probably like 700 coins that I've amassed, and I'm just going through them with an arrow, looking, and I stop on HNT, and it's in a bull pennant. It's the only chart that does not have, like, it has bearishness, but it looks just like it had, like, any chart would have, like, in a regular day. And I said, wow, like, that's interesting. And I put a call out, like, we should buy into this at 1366, and I did the research. We know what it is, the helium. You get a little miner and you create your network, right? And now I love the idea and I want one, but I'm afraid of, like, I'm a real kind of a hippie when it comes, like, do I want one in my house near my kids? Is it safe? You know what I'm saying? To provide that,
It's as safe as a baby monitor.
It is okay. I see. You know this. See, I don't know this. Explain. Yeah,
so Wi-Fi devices like routers and stuff like that just use radios. They use it on 2.4 or 5 gigahertz.
2.4
And
gigahertz.
yeah, and so the 5 gigahertz band is what we use with baby monitors and everything like that. So they're as safe as baby monitors.
All right, so I'm gonna order one now because I wasn't gonna order one because I was like, I didn't know. I mean, I was gonna try to probably do some research, but I was like, am I bringing 5G in my house? Like, what is going on with this thing? The only issue is I looked it up and there's nobody in my neighborhood with one.
So you could be the first miner.
Yeah. I heard you want to have like a few people mining near you. I don't know why. I don't know if that's true.
Talk with your neighbors and tell them to get one.
I'll just drop them off because they'll have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, just be like, plug this in and keep it in your house.
Call me when you're a millionaire in 5 years.
Yeah.
So that was bullish. Trade went well. Went to 20. Can you believe that? 13 to 20 in this market. We 80% trade. If obviously hard to sell the top, but at least even if you got in the middle with 30% trade, and right now it's sitting at 15.82. You're still $2 up on $13.5. So, and we still squeezed out still in profit on a trade. So shout out to my team, man. I love you guys. And now the second coin I looked at that looked just like it, Celsius. And it's interesting because before I looked at the chart, I was kind of hyperventilating, looking at my portfolio, thinking like, we could drop again. We could drop again. And I said, well, what do I do? And I said, well, I can consolidate into Bitcoin slowly. So like I did a little bit of consolidation into Bitcoin, you know, because that's my goal anyway. So I'm happy. Like all my stuff is 4 at 5x. So I'm like, all right, I 5x some money. Now I can buy, and Bitcoin's a little lower than it should be. Now I've been taking it for the last month straight. 90% of my trades have been BTC trades, and I was dominating the game. Like I made 100% on a Phantom BTC, two trades I had open, Atom BTC. I held it for like a month, 40, 50 days. These are long trades I hold, but nailed them. Like I'm taking almost a whole Bitcoin down off the table. And I didn't trade that hard BTC pairs in the last bull market. Cause like, I mean, you had to trade BTC pairs in the last bull market. I did, but I did it out of like, cause that's what I had to do. Like, last 2 years I've been doing a lot of USDT trading. So to get heavy into the BTC pairs. And so I'm just keeping my mind on the ball. I'm saying, if I block out the outside world and I ask myself, what do I want? I want more Bitcoin. And I want it in any way I could get it. And so I'll trade it. And honestly, these trades were more profitable, I feel like, because the whales are going after the masses that are like right now, XRP ETH looks like a really nice trade because no one's thinking like, oh, let me go trade XRP ETH right now. But my team is focused and I have a great group of traders around me. And we're like, I'm thinking of now trading gold stable coins against crypto now for the next few months. There could be some balance there. I think there's some opportunity there. Gold's looking really nice on the charts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not to mention that's like my reserve currency is gold. Mm-hmm. Like everybody thinks about cashing out to US dollars, but I'm just like, nah, if I'm taking out a Bitcoin, it's going into gold.
Yeah.
But I like what you said there, where you're making money even when the market's going down or sideways. Because there's that saying that, you can make money in a bull market, you can make money in a bear market, but pigs get slaughtered. Mm-hmm. And I think we saw that recently. Mm-hmm. Like it was crazy how like even popular internet marketing YouTubers were all of a sudden on the Bitcoin and the Dogecoin craze. Like whenever that happens, it's always a flag to me.
Yeah,
I made a whole video about how it just felt like the 2017 top again, and that was one of the factors. It's just like, back in 2017, it was Ty Lopez who got into it. This time it was Stephen Graham and Alex Becker, who are phenomenal internet marketers, but it's like they're saying buy Dogecoin the day that Elon goes on Saturday Night Live, and it's like, oh goodness gracious. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I saw that guy Reg Jag, I don't even know how to pronounce his full name, but and it's funny because they're like, it was interesting to me because like I've been investing in buying gold and I'm not a master buyer. I'm still a beginner's mind. I keep that. I'm still learning every day. I have no, but I definitely have been studying how to keep. It's honestly, I worked hard. I did a night shift for 5 years of my life, and I repeat that almost every day to myself. And it's because I don't want to lose the value that I put in. Like those are, it wasn't the worst times. Like I'm not saying I was like, but. The idea was I don't want to forget the value and I don't want to lose the value that I put in. That's the idea. When you go to work and you put your money back into US dollars, literally the second you get your paycheck, it's like how you drive a new car off the lot. Like money is like the second you get it, like they're selling bonds in the open market system behind your back to the Federal Reserve at a profit that doesn't have a balance sheet that writes a check for it. So every single day that a bond gets sold back, that our government needs money, so they sell a bond to the bank, which is every day. So every day government writes more debt for us. Where do they get the money? They have to sell a bond. They sell a bond to the banks at the open market system, which is an international auction where the biggest banks in the world fight for our actual debt. And one of them wins it and then gets to sell it to the Federal Reserve for a profit. It just boggles my mind. So I was always trying to find gold, silver. And then I watched these guys and it was like money matters. And it's, the only guy I like the most for whatever reason is Meet Kevin because he's a hustler. And I saw him come up from years ago and like he made his money like doing the real estate thing. I don't know why I'm more partial to him than all the other guys, But I'm watching them for 10 minutes one day, and I'm just like, how can this be like the investor channel that gets millions of views? You know, to me, it was like all nonsense, and like they were very lost people when it came to cryptocurrency, and they were making it like 90% of the video. I was just laughing. I was like, this is crazy. Yeah, it was surreal to see that.
Yeah, I still think it's very, very early because, like, for instance, we were talking about Alex Becker, and I used to learn from him in SEO, and now like he doesn't touch SEO at all. But like, you get to see how someone develops, and back then SEO was like something pretty big. Nowadays, I mean, we get these flares of cryptocurrency being something really big, but I always imagine, there's going to be one day where there's just I don't know, Jim Cramer will have his own cryptocurrency show, like the guy from Mad Money.
Yep.
Like, one day he'll be Mad Money will probably be talking about cryptocurrency.
Let's look at Avalanche now on the. Yeah. We're looking at DeFi. What's the biggest? I mean, it's gonna bind. We have the synthetic assets, right? I mean, and that's where it circles back to you. I was thinking about you a lot this week. It's another reason why I think I hit you up. It was kind of strange. Like, I hit you up thinking because I'm like, who put Celsius in my mind a lot? And I'm like, my man, Crypto Love. Like, I think you're the first person to like mention it enough for me to be like, and I'm stubborn. Like, I like hear it and like I research, but like I didn't pay attention to. I don't know why. Like, I'm like in other places and I'm like, oh yeah, it's Celsius. Oh yeah, it's And finally, I'm doing my coin search, and I see another chart that looks just like HNT's chart. One of the only of like 400 or 500 charts I'm talking. And I'm like, and it's in a bull pattern, and it looks like it's been going up for the last week straight. And I'm like, and it's Celsius BTC. And I'm like, wow, if I want some BTC in the next few weeks, this looks like if I put one BTC in here, like 2-3 months from now, like I'm going to have like maybe another one or at least a quarter of one, and even the USDT pair looks really nice. And so I put a call out for that to get in around 650, 680, 676, something like that. And I'm just going to take a look at the price real quick, but I believe it's and it's not huge, but I believe it's a sustainable trade that seems to be bear proof a little bit. May I dare say 712 right now, and it's peeking out of the top of a bull flag right now.
And here's the other thing. There's also a lot of fundamentals behind that as well. So when Celsius first became really popular, when it broke $1 and went from like $1 to $7, actually a whole bunch of stuff happened that made the price less likely to go up, at least temporarily. And one of the reasons is because Celsius has to buy back all the cell tokens in order to pay
your dividends, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But they had these releases. So like part of their token distribution was when it reaches a certain price, we're going to release more cell tokens. And it reaches a certain price, we release cell tokens. So like while the price went up, they released a whole bunch of cell tokens. So they basically flooded the market in cell token to where they didn't have to buy it back from people and from the markets. They could just buy these newly released cell tokens. So there was no very strong buy pressure. Well, I think they've pretty much run through those free cell tokens now. Now they're back to having to buy them back from people. And not only that, but also if people are thinking there's a bear market, they're just going to put their Bitcoin or whatever in their Celsius wallet, let it earn 7% interest for the next couple of years. So they're going to have to buy back even more. So that's going to be amplified even further. Plus, the number of signups that they've had, I don't know what they're at, the number of users that they have right now, but before a few months back, it was like 400,000 users. Now they're well over 700,000 users probably. Yep. So like I think it's just been amplifying, and this is one of those projects that was built to actually be used. It was built for the good of the people who use it. And so,
yeah, do you know the guy's name? I should know. I didn't. But so everyone's like, he's a billionaire or he's already rich.
He's a triple unicorn.
He just loves helping the world now. And I watch him live the other day, and I was like, I like this dude, man. Like, he's like, no other program's doing what we're doing. Look at our flywheel. Take a look. He's like, no one has done what we've done. Like, come on, man. Like,
he put Wi-Fi in the subways in New York City.
Okay,
because
you
he
did. Oh yeah,
realized-
you talked about this. Okay, yeah.
He
Okay,
realized
so he,
it was
yeah,
something that would benefit people.
yeah.
And he built Celsius Wallet with 80% of the profits going back to the people. What other projects do that where 80% of the profit goes back to the people? And he did that because it would be good for people. Because guess what? They can survive off of 20% of the profits. And you know, he just builds good things because they're good for the people. Not to mention, I mean, I literally think that Celsius is one of the reasons why DeFi is so popular. Because they made it easy for anybody.
Well-
I can go to my bank and I can sit down with the banker and fill out a whole bunch of forms, and then I can get my 0.1% annual interest. Or I can take the same amount of time, download the Celsius app, create an account.
They make
do my
DeFi feel
KYC.
like you're doing something dirty. Not dirty, but like it's so smooth. It's dirty. You know, it's like wow. Like when I do crypto, like when I'm even trading, like when I first found a crypto exchange, because I started trading, and a lot of people don't realize like if you don't put 21,000 in a margin account, like you can't day trade. Like you can't go in and out of every trade you want, like we do in crypto. Like you have to go in and then wait like a 2-day passing period. And if I've done it before, like you'll buy a stock and that's 3 days. And then you'll sell a stock 3 days, like on Monday. But then you want to buy something Monday afternoon. So you buy it anyway. They'll let you buy it, but they'll get a little note saying like, you can't sell this stock until the next one clears, you know? And then, but what I've seen something about the tank, and I've had to sell that one Tuesday morning, and you get what's called a strike on your account. And you get 3 of those, they suspend your account for 90 days. You have to go to another, you know, you can open it up at like each, you know, E-Trade, but you can't trade that account anymore. It's happened to me. And so I had to trade up to 21,000 just to get the opportunity. So then I found crypto and I had 1,000, and I was like, wait, I can make 10 trades tonight? I was like, from 10 till 12 tonight, I can make 10 trades? I was in love. I was like, this is where it's at. I was like, I can learn all the same things about trading, and this is 24/7, and I can go in and out whenever I want. I was kind of like, why would I ever trade a stock market again? Like to me, it was, if I'm, you know, I'll do a gold and silver stock and I'll buy gold and silver, but yeah. And when this felt bearish, even me, I started looking at my portfolio and I was like, all right, I know I'm not going to sell my Bitcoin. That's a fact. I've made that promise to myself a long time ago. So it's not happening. Like that's just not happening. Like I'll go to work and I'll do whatever it takes to get some food on, to make another paycheck before I ever dip into my Bitcoin holdings. It will never happen.
Those are the type of people that I want in cryptocurrency, with that exact mentality you've got there. Because that is exactly the mentality that's going to make Bitcoin go to infinity dollars. Because there literally is less and less and less Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is the scarcest asset ever on the face of the planet.
I'm not stupid. I know what's
asset. Yes. Yeah. And here's the thing: if we all just buy our Bitcoin and hodl our Bitcoin, eventually, it may not be tomorrow. You won't be a Dogecoin millionaire, but you'll guaranteed be a Bitcoin millionaire probably in less time than you think.
Yeah.
Like, give it 6 years. If you're
6,
not a
7
Bitcoin
years.
millionaire in 6 years, I would be shocked.
Dude, 2024 halving is going to be insane. I think about the 2028 halving. Funny, I did have a dream. I don't dream a lot, but I did have a dream.
Some people fantasize about real things. You're like,
yeah,
2028.
Yeah, I'm just like, dude, could you believe it? But so I had a dream, no lie. I really had a dream today, and I usually don't. And it was one of those where you like wake up like, and I'm not lying. And I despite all the trading in my life, I very rarely have like a trading dream. And I know this is crazy, but in my dream, like, you know, Bitcoin was like it was a candle that never. It was like a red candle that just like wouldn't stop. Like, and I was just like, oh, and I was like. And like I ran up to my wife, I was like, babe, it's and she's like, again. And I'm like, yeah, it's again. Like, and I kept looking, and it was like 10, and like it stopped at $1,800 in my dream. Like, and it was like, and I was like, that's it. Like, it's over. Like, it's over. I was like, that's it. I was like, it's done. Like, and I literally opened my eyes. My heart was kind of like, and I was in my bed. Like, I looked at like out the window. It was a rainy, nasty day, and I was like, what the? And I was like, oh. And of course, I did what any logical person does when you wake up in the morning. I looked at my Blockfolio account immediately, and and saw that everything was exactly where it was when I had went to bed. You know, maybe a little bit up actually by a little chunk. And I was like, oh, interesting. But yeah, so I was looking at feeling
That's
squeamish,
scary.
and my idea was to park all my funds, you know, consolidate everything but Cardano, VeChain, you know, certain things that I like, into Bitcoin and park it in Celsius. Because I said, you know, if I could just get, I don't need a lot. I just need to squeeze out. I just need to squeeze out enough to get through the bear market, right? And if as long as Bitcoin, I was like, I even looked at it, I was like, if Bitcoin can even go to 18, like I could squeeze out enough to make a little bit to get out of the bear, you know. So and then I was like Celsius, and then I went to the chart, and then I thought about you, right? So I was like, aha. And you know you're not that unique. Like when you think to squirrel away in somewhere, you want to squirrel and hide under a rock somewhere. Like a lot of other people want to hide under that rock as well, right? So you know, I'm not that smart. I'm not that brilliant, you know, Celsius, right? So now the chart says Celsius will go, if I put it over my face here, it's saying it's in a beautiful bull pennant with a measured move to 9.98, $10. I mean, like, just, you know, and we look at the daily stochastics, they're a little high, but they're just breaching the line, meaning I think it's going to have a pop at least. And then as long as it can hold above like $8.15 here, then within a few weeks, I see that unless like something horrible happens, but as you say, like they're going to have, if something horrible happens, more people will park into Celsius, and they're going to have to buy more Celsius to pay more people.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
What's your take? Would you take your rewards in Celsius or Bitcoin though? Even though you get the higher rewards, and maybe
if I could, I would take them in Celsius, but because I'm a U.S. citizen, can't do that.
oh, we can't do that. I didn't know
I
that.
don't think so.
Interesting.
I haven't checked recently. I just set it and forget it so long ago, dude. I was in Celsius back when it was 6 cents. I took out a Celsius loan to try out the platform back when it was 6 cents because I believed in Alex Mashinsky. I spoke.
And you
with
told
him a
us to
couple
do
times.
it online.
Yeah, and I was like, well, let's see
Not
if
financial
this thing
advice.
works. Yeah, I was like, well, let's see if this thing works. So I took out a loan for like $10,000 or something, just to see how the whole process worked. And in order to take out a loan, you need to pay the interest. You don't pay the whole loan like you do when you take out like a loan on your house or whatever.
Yep.
You just pay the interest. It's an interest-only loan, but
Yep.
you have to pay that interest in cell token. And I didn't have any cell tokens, so I just had to go buy a bunch of cell token to pay the interest of the loan. And so I did that. And then after a few weeks or a month, I paid off the loan because I was just testing to see if it worked. And I didn't really feel like selling the cell token back, so I was just like, whatever, I'll hold it. And then it went to
Might have been a good idea when you $100 extra money right now.
$6. Yeah, it's
60
crazy.
cents you 10x. Right now you're sitting at 100, and then even 100 and then another 120x almost, like.
But it's like, okay, so here's the thing. Like this year I think a lot of people are fortunate because if you pick out a good, legitimate project, like a lot of people did that with Cardano back when it was 2-3 cents. They were saying, hey, this is a good one. Matic, back when it was a cent. This was another one where I was like, hey, they're going to take care of scaling for Ethereum. Done. Now it's well over 200x. Celsius, if you look at these good, legitimate projects and you just put some money in there and let it ride, you know, realize that you could lose it, but there's a better chance that it's going to do well. It ends up doing well, and they're less resistant to, or they're less susceptible to the fluctuations of the market, as opposed to trying to buy whatever the craze is, because the craze will go up, and it goes up based on NGU technology, which is numbers go up technology, where we have a small liquidity pool and a bunch of people trying to buy that all up, and then everybody wants to sell it at a profit, so they all start selling at the same time, and the price evaporates at the same time. So I think that, you know, one lesson for newer people out there is try and seek out the good projects, because they're not that hard to find. You just have to look for them, and then if you just stick with them, they'll reward you.
Oh, I'm gonna have.
We are still very early on.
I'm gonna give you my 5. We'll call them bearish warriors. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you my 5 bearish warriors, and we probably overlap here.
Okay.
But these are coins that I believe that, you know, I can hold, and I can hold well, and you know, now first, besides, we're gonna leave Bitcoin off the table because that's just like an obvious thing, right? That's just gonna waste
And just
a
for
juicy
fun,
slot.
we'll leave the what is that gold one? We'll leave that off the table.
Pax Gold or whatever,
Yeah, there we go.
Paxos.
Pax Gold, we'll leave that on the table too.
There's other better ones too. You might know more, but I'm gonna say algorithm. I like algorithm a lot, and there's just something creepy about it, like connected to XRP and the banking system, and I don't know. There's some folklore underground internet spiels.
Dude, I think XRP is going to be the U.S. digital currency.
Me and my great friend. I have a great friend, XRP Muser. Shout out to the Muser, and we met when we were like 13, right? And years went by. We had a weird coincidental meeting where we like met we didn't know we were both going to be in Los Angeles, and we ended up meeting, whatever. It kind of made us like even closer. And then, I started telling him about cryptocurrency in the 2017 bull run, and he was like, it's all I would talk about. And maybe somehow got him to watch a video, and he got hooked in the XRP game. He changes his like Twitter feed as XRP Muser. He's in, his YouTube handle, XRP Muser. And we would sit on the beach and talk all the time. And it's awesome to have a friend that like I had so many other common, similarities with, and we grew up together. And now to go on a crypto journey with him for the last like 3, like he was one of my first subscribers on my channel. Like he was always like, you're going to blow up. I know it. Like, I know it, man. And I was like, really? He's like, dude, I know it. Like, I see the other guys blow up. Like, I know you're going to blow up. There's no reason if you put in the effort, it's going to happen, And, yeah, he's convinced, and he'll talk to me till I'm, he's deeper down the hole than I am. And, he's like, man, it's, these banks, and they're going to move that money, and it's going to be XRP, man. I'm telling you, man.
So.
What makes you think? What is your reasoning for why?
Okay, so you look at the number one cryptocurrency that has a relationship with the SEC, and it's XRP, because they've been taken off the table this whole bull run. They've been dealing with their SEC stuff. I think they have like a former Treasury person on the board or something like that.
Yeah.
And it would just be ironic if it happened. And I'm like, that's exactly what's going to happen. Like, in a couple of years, they're going to come out and they're going to be like, yep,
$30 a coin.
and then
$5.89.
I was telling this to my buddy Rain, and he was like, but the government's going to want control. How are they going to do that? And I was like, simple. Ripple Labs owns 60+% of Ripple. So the government would just buy out Ripple Labs. They buy out Ripple Labs. They become the dominant holder of XRP. They have control of it.
Would they be the Federal Reserve then? Like the new Federal, like how, like
Ripple Labs would be the Federal Reserve.
Now, am I wrong to think here that these bailouts, this new bailout, these $6.2 trillion, right, is the next? Are they trying to? I feel like they're trying to turn. I'd say, I mean, we already had a large portion of the population, but they're trying to turn like a large portion of Americans into dependents. I feel like, Are they going to try to use that to try out a new coin? Like, I have this, I don't know, it seems to me they're doing, I don't know, like when do you stop getting a check here? Like when do people stop getting, they keep saying that it will stop then, but, when is when is it over? The whole thing has been insane,
Dude, I think it's amazing that they think that they can print money like there's no tomorrow, and then they won't have something like Venezuela.
But what's my thing is, if they're as smart as us and they know this, right?
Well, that's the biggest.
What's the alternative? Yeah. What's the alternative? Like,
there's not many. You can either produce. That's one thing. You can go to war, or you could have massive inflation. That's basically it. And so it's not looking too good. I don't think. I mean, hopefully they're not going to go to war. Doesn't look like they're going to produce. They're paying people more to stay at home and do nothing, which is crazy. So I think it's a coordinated effort to try and destroy. Well, here's the thing: they've been kicking the can down the road for how many years?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to own up to it. We have the bubble upon bubble upon bubble right now, in basically every industry except for, I mean, stocks are in a bubble, housing is in a
Bonds,
bubble,
treasuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And so it's just like they could have a plan for popping it and then going to a new standard. Like I've heard that it's going to be like a Chinese type of thing where it's a social score based, and you have a direct account with the Fed, and you get rewarded based on your social score. I mean, that's like
Fed
one
coin,
theory,
man.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but that's possible.
Oh, Jesus, man. Like Orwellian life, man. You know?
Yep.
It's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what they're saying here in the chat, man. You
You
sent
never
me
finished your 5
Kevin.
coins.
Okay, yeah, okay. Let's do our 5 coin battle. Okay, Cardano. And you led me to Cardano, man. I clicked on your video one day. I was a young 34-year-old man. And I was watching you, and, you had chicks on your sometimes at the beginning, but honestly, that wasn't, I clicked on you one day. I listened to you, and I listened to a guy who's not really on it, David Hay. I don't know if you remember David.
Oh yeah, David.
Yeah.
Hay. He was the first person I ever streamed with.
Yeah, see, yeah. And you and David were just, man, you were people that I felt like I'd be in a room with this person. Like, they remind me of someone I would hang out with. I like, just spoke to me in that way. And now I have, subscribers, you're like, oh, yeah. And you're like, oh, that's why I get it now, Okay, yeah, cool. And, yeah, and you were just like, Cardano, man. So Cardano, 2 cents, man, you told me I bought it first time ever, Bought my last few bags at 8 cents and then never looked back. Never bought more, never bought less. Just love holding my Cardano, and I'll never really think about it again. So Cardano, I like Algorand on the low. May not be the greatest performer. Like, they get in at like 30 cents, and it went to like $1.80 at almost $2. It's sitting at 88 cents right now, so it's still holding a 3x. But I believe it's going to be entrapped in this banking system. I think XLM is going to be in there. I think XRP is going to. I think I have these weird intuitive visions of things, and maybe they're insane, But Algorand, and also the maker of Algorand, is like, it's like one of the smartest computer scientists who came up with like certain parts of cryptography that like people still use today. Like he's kind of somewhat of a brainchild of what we're all doing now. So I feel like, there's a reason that I like to buy people, not coins, right? So I really like Algorand. That's a coin I really, really like that I think. And I like VeChain. I'm holding VeChain. I think VeChain it has enough of a fan base. So many people love it. I think it will be used. Like, we're going to hear about more news with, Walmart, Louis Vuitton, right? BMW and other supply chains and more. I like basic attention token. I think it's if it can, as long as it can hold above 50 cents, it's sad, it dwindled from 25 to 40 for so long. To see it finally break that dollar and go all the way up, I've been holding it for a long time. But, I still get paid in it all the time. I keep the link under my videos, and I say, hey, I brought you the stream right now today. We can even talk about it right now. I mean, I don't have a real relationship with them per se, but the Brave browser, man, it's amazing. You know what I'm saying? There's like 3 awesome reasons why I think basic attention token is worthy of being on my list, and yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to put this out here and show everyone 3 times faster than Chrome.
Okay. So
Better privacy by default than Firefox.
Now we saw Bitcoin
Ooh. And
there.
yeah, 35% less battery on your mobile phone.
There's a
Hold on.
32% chance.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so why wouldn't you want to do those 3 things? And then when you decide to turn on the ads, you can watch them. Also, I see people all the time, my friends or family, they go to watch a YouTube video, they want to show me something, and the little ad comes on. And I'm like, You know, you could just use basic attention token and use the little lion, and you never watch another ad on YouTube again. But anyway, so basic attention token. So Cardano algorithm, basic attention token, Celsius. I think Celsius will make it just due to, you know, and HNT, honestly. I think they're my 5 bear proof. Like, they have real world access to like what they're doing. Like, you can see what they're doing and watch it grow. I don't see why, just because Bitcoin wants to tank, that like more people won't buy a helium. You know, they're back ordered right now. Like, I don't know. So yeah.
Nice. Those are good ones.
Yeah.
My 5 actually come from I like using, you were talking about artificial intelligence. So I like using Tokenmetrics for doing some research, because they do a lot of the heavy lifting for me. And one of the things I especially like looking at is under the ratings. So they'll use like 70 metrics to rate all the different coins. But if you go investor yearly and you choose that, that's like what I think is the most undervalued long-term holds. And so I was just doing that the other day, and the coins that came up, I was like, wow, these are really good coins for holding long-term. It came up with Celsius was number 1. It had Theta token on there. It had,
I'm gonna bring it up right here because I pay for I don't pay for the big one, but I pay like the $40 a month.
Yeah. And what else? So
right.
Chainlink was on there. It had Kusama. It had Filecoin. It had so like a whole bunch of these ones.
Kusama makes sense. Filecoin makes sense. You know.
But if I was to give my 5 bear resistant coins, I would say Celsius, Cardano, Theta, Matic, and
I need to get a little drum button on the stream deck.
I know, right? Yeah. Well, let me look at what coin. We'll say Kusama for the time being, and then the other one will come back to me, and I'll kick myself for it.
Are you a polka dot?
Nah, I'm not a
fiend.
polka dot. Yeah, nah.
Are you all over? Do you have to have Karora all day long? And like, are you a Fala, Akala, Kusama, Katana?
I've had Kusama since like a long time ago, but
Lucky man, under $20.
I don't remember what I bought it at, but it was like
definitely
the
under
first
20.
time that anybody
Definitely
heard
under
about
20 of the man. That's why he's crypto love, folks.
This was when people didn't even know what.
Listen to this man.
This is when people didn't even know what Polkadot was. I bought Kusama because it was like the canary network for Polkadot. So I was like, well, if Polkadot's going to do good, this is going to do good too. And plus it had Gavin Wood behind it.
Yeah.
And so
the guy who looks like powder. I'm just
right?
Oh man.
Yeah, so I think
the whitest man on earth.
Those
Gavin
5 will
Wood's
be my 5. Those are good.
Yeah.
I also think I think there's some honorable mentions out there.
Well,
but...
so I just threw it in. I'm taking. I'll throw this over my face right now. So it's you and Tokenmetrics right now. All right. So what I did is I went to investor. I hit yearly. Low cap, no. Okay.
Yeah, low cap, no.
Yeah. So I hit. We did low cap. So why not? So low cap. Everybody. We'll hook you up real quick. We got Monetha, which I remember trading Monetha back. You know who put Monetha on my radar was a channel I really like. I kind of want to plug him. I don't know. You might know him. You may not. Is Jeff. He started altcoin Buzz, I believe, but he's not on there anymore. I don't know. He has his own channel, Blockchain Bulls now, but he does great coin reviews. He's a no BS kind of guy. Seems like he's from like the Midwest, like American guy kind of, and he travels around a lot though. Like he's in Bali, he's all around all the time. China, Bali, Singapore. He's always like somewhere, And he put Monetha on my radar back in the day. It's interesting to see these coins come back up. Wabi, Cyber Miles, which I haven't even heard of yet. Centrality, I don't know about. I need to know more. Buy box token, I don't know. See, Arc block.
So
These are tokens.
Centrality is like an AI type thing. Buybox is an exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
CoinX, I know that's exchange, right? CoinX token. Qcash, BitCNY. Interesting.
Those are like Chinese yuan stable coins. they're saying the US dollar.
I was about to say, I was like, this
value
looks. Oh yeah,
to
you
Chinese
bit. Yeah, the
stablecoins.
bit swan. Yeah, the CNY. Okay, I'm like, what the. Okay, so Elrond they put in there as a investor yearly. I'm happy I have a lot of Elrond. Something told me in October. I was watching. You know what's weird? I get intuitional feelings. And last summer, I'm watching this coin called EGLD Elrond, but it was called ERLD. It was ERLD or something. It had like it wasn't always EGLD. It was like.
Yeah, it was something different.
It was something different, and I like really liked it because I'm a price action guy, and I was like, it just seemed to like it would pump, and when it would pump, like even back when it was like a penny, it would pump like 3 pennies and then 5, and I was like, this thing is always just. It was the one I always wanted, but like always told myself not to buy because I don't chase big green dildos, and it was just every morning it was like another one and another one and another one, and I would be like, man, I can't do this.
That's the best. That's the best I've ever heard anyone put it. I don't chase big green dildos.
I just can't. No, because I'm just, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to hurt myself, right? Like, I'm trying to do the right things. Like, so I made some rules that I just don't like to break. And I really am good at not breaking them at this point. And I didn't do it. And it's a coin, like LTO is another coin that, in my opinion, got away from me. Like, not many people ever talked about it. It really wasn't on a lot of channels. I was actually going to just start making videos. And right when the market kind of was like, I was like, oh, I need to start doing an LTO video. Like, I've had coins in my mind for months that I still haven't told anyone about, but that I knew were going to be big. And then I've watched them rip, and I just like kept it to myself in my little brain. I'm like, why didn't I say anything? And it's weird. Elrond was one of those in my mind that I just felt like, I don't know. There was a screaming. I had to have it. I was like, yo, if I don't have this, and I had to have it like, and I didn't even start buying it until it was like $15, $16. And I should have been buying it when it was below $1. You know,
Wow, wouldn't it be nice to be able to go back in time and buy all that stuff?
we really like Ferrum Network a lot. We do.
Mm-hmm.
Word on the street is Binance is heavily invested in it, right? One of my guys, like I just have a few guys close to me that are heavily researchers, and like he picked this coin out back in the day, you know, and now it's back to its bottom price, like where it all started, really. Ferrum. It's interesting that
that
Ferrum's
one's been
on there.
consistently on
Yeah.
Tokenmetrics. I know that.
I also, it's fun. I overlooked. I guess I might have even thrown this in my top 5 as FTX because I'm a huge fan of Sam Bankman-Fried.
Are you looking at the indices or the ratings?
Probably the indices, right? Let's see.
Because it gives a pie chart.
Yeah.
Look at the ratings.
Okay. So wait.
It doesn't give low caps though on the ratings. Like
Where do
if
I
you
go
up
to
to data?
Yep.
In the top bar, click.
Okay.
data,
Yeah. Ratings. Yeah.
Ratings. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's why it's USD coin. Synthetics though. Why are they putting synthetic? Now, what is the indices doing for us other than the ratings though?
Okay, so the indices, they try and pick the best portfolio. So like they're saying, hey, if this was going to be your entire portfolio, this is the best chance of outperforming Bitcoin. Whereas the ratings are the more accurate answer for what the best coins are. So they're using machine learning and artificial intelligence to pick out if they had to rank the coins in order, like you know how CoinMarketCap ranks them in order of market cap or whatever you choose, this uses their quant score, and this says, hey, this is actually the best coin out there based on a certain time frame. And so I like to go to that, and I choose investor yearly, and then that gives me that's the idea. Like if I was to put my money somewhere and just hold it there for a long time, that would be the best bet because that's the best looking coin. And when I did that the other day, it was like Celsius was number 1.
Algorand right there, baby.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. It's in the top like 20 there, you know. It's hanging out. FTX token, Sam Bankman-Fried, man. The guy's a billionaire 18, 20 years old. I mean, right? I mean, so Solana, I'm heavy, feeling really strongly lately about Solana, Phantom, the Phantom network. I'm very bullish on Phantom right now. I've done my research. I've dabbled with it. I've used it. I've installed it on my MetaMask wallet. I've even done some farming on it. I've been on Spirit Swap. You know, I got some Frankenstein, did some Franken stuff. I'm into it, man. I like what's going on. I like paying 0.003 cents per transaction. Like, it's literally a third of a penny to do stuff. Like, to yield farm. Like, I was pulling in like $30 an hour yield farming, like right at the peak, you know, just right before the market went down. But like, and paying like less than a penny to bring in 20, $40 in rewards. I could not believe it. I was like, I was in shock, you know.
Yeah. So we got to talk about it. Is the bull run over?
Honestly, I have like, I guess 4 scenarios, right? There's 4 scenarios in my mind that like, and I'm okay with all of them. Honestly, I'm okay with all of them. I really am. And the first one is that cryptocurrency is a joke, and like FedCoin moves in and they smother us well, and they bombard us with news, and the millionaires pump and dump, and they eventually scare everybody out, and they form a happy little crypto world bubble that they want, and they literally criminalize us all, and kind of, you know, and crypto dies completely, right? Now, the code of Bitcoin alone tells me that's not going to happen, and the transcendent nature of Bitcoin through territories and its general nature, I think it wouldn't have made it this far. They would have smothered it when they, like, it's something you want to get rid of early. Like, it's like an infestation of bullfrogs. Like, you got to stop them. I have bullfrogs near me, and they're loud every night. So loud that, like, if you open the window, like, you won't be able to sleep at night. I call them the machine. But but yeah, so the scenario is they wipe it out completely. I don't think that's going to happen. First scenario. Number 2, you know, we are in a, you know, honestly, I'll tell you honestly, everyone watching me right now, I do not like to sugarcoat things. My channel would be great if it was bullish. I'd probably make more money in a bull market. I'll be honest with you. Bear markets are not the greatest thing for me and my business, but I also know that my business is about integrity and about having people care about me, and I care about you guys, and that's really what it's about. And like, I tell you guys exactly what I think. And you know, right now we're below the 200-day moving average, and that 50 keeps coming. And like, I'm a religious guy when it comes to my TA, and when the 50-day moving average on the daily crosses the 200, I mean, you should be out way before that, honestly. Like, as a trader, you should have been out, like, that's like a tsunami coming. Like, you should be out before, because even if it's not the worst, like, it's going to bounce, and like the 50 was going to loop up, and at the very least, we're going to get a lowdown and a come up, you know. And go to the chart. You can look at the chart. I could bring it up. I can see it in my mind. The last 50-day cross was the pandemic, right? So it's the last time the 50-day crossed the 200 was the pandemic dump. And then, you know, and so to me, every day that I see that 50 get a little closer, the more I'm like, like, I started to scale out last night. I'll be honest with everybody. Like, I sold some VeChain, and not because I think VeChain's a long-term hold on but I want to buy back. I want to get below 10 cents, 8 cents, 6 cents. If there's another big dump, like, I want to double up my bag and hold it for the bear run. Like, or maybe what I like to really do is, I'm happy with the coins I have. So say I have like 110,000 VeChain. I want to buy back 120,000, and then keep the rest to live on. Like, it's okay to pay yourself. Like, just buy back the same bag you had, and take back whatever money's left over to, like, you know, so me and my wife don't have to worry, so I can keep doing YouTube throughout the bear run. Like, if I do it right, I will not have to go back to work. If I do it wrong, I could be forced off of YouTube. This is also like a reality channel, whether the lifer can get to crypto loves level, or will I go back to work in real life, you know? Will the market, too. I mean, you know, yeah, right. He's like, I still have to work. Or is the market taking a dip? Are we gonna get above the 200 in the next few weeks? And, you know, are we actually gonna fly, or are we gonna just kind of go sideways for the next 2 months, 3 months till August, and then continue to pump? I think we're gonna be bearish for at least a month or two. Be honest with everybody. Like, I think we're going to struggle through some capitulation. I think we're going to bounce around. I think there's a 60% chance we do hit 28K just for whatever reason. I don't think we go as low as everyone else thinks we go, just because everyone thinks we go that low. And then, I believe that, that we're going to get that late July into August pump, and then I think we cool down September again, a little bit of a pullback there. And then I think we have an outrageous pump into November, December. And then I think that's kind of when maybe, it'll kind of really ramp down again, just like but that's, there's no telling exactly what's going to happen. And I don't want to force anyone into being a perma bear or a perma bull. I'm going to look at the charts every day and literally look at it where we are and say, what's going on. So just real quick, I'm not going to go too long. I just want to take a look at Bitcoin's weekly candle close real fast since we're all here together. And we do this every Sunday night at 8 p.m., Randall.
It's a great way to spend a Sunday night.
And I think we have a blast, and yeah. And it's been a tough weekly candle close, right? So look, there's our weekly candle. First green candle we've had though. See, so I take it like one step at a time, Randy. It's like, every week we go through these and we see where we're at. And like right now, let's see, we're going to take off all the work here. We had a bit of an, that is a bearish hammer, right? When the upside is way bigger than the downside. And it's a kind of a bearish hammer doji. Like, it's not the best doji, right? It can spell, a change in trend. And we did have a bit of a, we had a bottom wick there. The candle closed. So we opened the week at 34,861. The high was 40,840. The low was 33,379. And we would close above 35K. Honestly, a weekly close to me above 35K is kind of nice. Like I'm taking little wins here, right? Like I'm just taking little wins. The issue to me is no one can argue to my face and tell me that this is not a bearish pennant, because I know what a pennant looks like, and this is a bear pennant. It is. Okay. Now, I'm a by the book guy. I trade these charts the way they say they're going to be traded. And I can show people, like people that say, oh, pattern traders, I can go through lines and show you pattern after pattern that played out like 100% down the line. Like I'll have videos coming out after this just to show people. But what I like to do is I like to train my brain the opposite way, because that makes me think what I shouldn't be thinking. And so what I mean right now is, look, I'm going to double click on the screen and I'm going to hit Alt-I here. And we're going to flip this. And like, if you were looking at that, you would call that a descending triangle and it would look so super bullish. So if I would flip this upside down and it would look bullish to me, okay, and I would have to be dead honest, and I would put this out as a trade to my patrons. I would say, guys, this looks like HNT. This looks like Celsius. This isn't a bull pennant. Now, I'm going to go flip it back the way it's supposed to look, and to me, it's telling me we're breaking down. The measured move is even 18,000, right? So
does that say 18,000?
It does, yeah.
Oof.
It says 19. It says 19.
Dude, I just made a video yesterday that said we're going down to 19,000. Ooh.
And so there's a 68% chance, 32% chance we break to the upside, right? So it's not all bearish. I'm just a measured move guy, and I play patterns the way they're supposed to be played. Like, and I do that every day. Whether it's
Bitcoin did that would be a first. That would be a first that's ever come back to a previous all-time high after a halving.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
We would have completely broken out of any patterns that Bitcoin's ever had. Interesting.
Now, okay, I did one other thing because I like to try to bend space and time. And I said, okay, it's a falling wedge that got manipulated with some wicks. And it's not it's not a bear pennant. Okay. And look, and that's going to break up 68% of the time, right? With a target. But I try to just build it, and it says and it says at the very least we may get rejected to the downside here and have to retest this low. which would be 33.8, or, you know, and we might wick. So, you know, this is the other viable idea here, that this is our support. We're going to come bounce here, 32,626, wiggle around, hopefully, or, you know, if we zoom really deep in here and we get real crazy with it, are we, you know, shoulder, head, are we just going to make a right shoulder here? And then is that going to break from the neckline, from the measured move of the head, and get us on out of the pattern to then have us jump, you know? Right now, we are oversold on the 1 hour. Tells us that it's highly likely that this inverted head and shoulders will break to the upside for now. You know, temporarily, like if I had to give everyone a trade right now, and again, none of this is financial advice, please get yourself a financial advisor. And don't do anything you see me do on this channel. But if it was entertaining you to watch me hypothesize about what I would do, I've seen this 100 times in my life. You know, I've seen this not hundreds of times in my life play out and break to the upside, because that's what these patterns do. So, you know, then you go to the 4 hour to check what's the longevity of that move, and we're pretty high on the Stokes now, which tells me, we might get a pop on that, but we're still a little bearish on the bigger time frame, you know. And the daily wants to peak out, but like we had a nice push up on the Stokes and not a lot of momentum on price, and to me that's bearish. That's a little bearish. So I have to be honest, like, even though I don't like saying it, I don't see strength at the moment at all, you know. So
not at all. Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, I feel like the bull market didn't last long enough, but oh well. Everybody wanted it to be till the end of the year, and maybe it will be.
We don't know. Don't go.
Yeah.
There's still, I think, a lot of opportunity in the market. It's sad. Like a meme coin went up 1,000% or more today. Like I saw, like some of these stupid coins are still going up because they're like, you know, they have low liquidity. So like you only need to, you know, that it's just crazy, man. I'm trying to get back to the chat real quick, do some chat answering, and then I figured we'd kind of call it a night. But let's see here. Crypto clans are the best. Best luck, brother Mike. What is he saying? V-chain moves in thirds. We're all. Someone said crypto news is that Filecoin is China's big gift to newlyweds at their weddings, and that's what is maybe going to move it. You know, and this is someone that I'm pretty close with who said that. It's interesting. The best DEX will have a trading platform with 2 or 3 consecutive trade possibilities, so we could sell close to all-time high and buy again at retest areas. Interesting. ZooCoin I'm hearing a lot about recently. That's the like the Poo coin for Phantom Network, I believe. The Zoo Network. Polycat and Matic has broken out with a lot of farms. Polycat, Polywhale, Polygauge, which is a 13-year-old kid. Have you seen that? 13-year-old kid. Programmer created his own entire, it's a big elephant. Looks pretty cool. I have a video on the crypto lifestyle. I linked up with the crypto lifestyle. Francis over there. Cool guy, man. Really nice dude. And he was like, yo, I want to work with some YouTubers. And kind of, he's like, I'm getting busy. And I want to fill my channel, but don't have the time. I'm just, you know, I'm doing whatever I don't know what he's up to. But he's up to something insane. And and so I reached out and said, I would love to be a part of that. Like, I think that would be good exposure for me. Yeah. Come on, quick. Have a good night. All right. Love you too. And yeah, he was like, yeah, let's do it. And so I've been making a video for him once a week. And so I get premiered on his channel, usually on Tuesday. It depends on what's going on. And I just made a video about Matic recently, and not even because of the hype train, but I think a lot of people don't realize like what Matic's really doing and what's really going on with Matic.
The hype train is the performant version of Ethereum. That's basically it. It's like,
do you think once it gets
usable.
optimism, Matic will take a hit? I don't, but some people think that, you know.
I don't, because here's the thing. Matic can still scale ETH 2.0. Like, Matic can make ETH 2.0 even faster and even cheaper. So I think that it's the performant version of Ethereum. Everything that everybody thought Ethereum was going to do is actually Matic doing it. I mean, it's not Matic doing it because Ethereum has to be there for it to run on top of, but it's that missing link that allows it all to be done.
Crypto Dingo, except for DeFi and many NFTs, where do you see another major theme this cycle? Thanks for what you both do. Your realness, crypto love squared. Crypto lifer squared.
Except
yeah.
for memes and NFT.
Except for DeFi and maybe NFTs, where do you see another major theme cycle? I mean,
Memes.
I think there's going to be, gaming, which ties into that, but there's definitely going to be a gaming cycle of some type. Sport NFT cycle. I mean, he said NFTs, but specifically what type? You know, soccer is getting big, right? CHC just reached out. I think Chili's has a deal with the NHL now, which is pretty big. Shout out to the Bruins taking the Islanders down last night. Yes. Sorry if anyone's out there from Long Island.
It's you have
Oh wow,
to
a lot
look
of
at like what are good use cases for blockchain
layer 2
projects.
ZK rollouts, baby. I mean, yeah, the ZK rollout, right? I went over all this, and that's what I'm saying. I went in on this video. I went in. Like, I covered the rollups. I covered the 4 layers of scaling, the execution layer, the Ethereum layer. I just went over all the partnerships they have, how many different people are connected to them. I even showed you how to go to Xpollinate and switch. You could buy Phantom. You could then buy Phantom USDT. You can pollinate it over to Matic USDT, and then you can. I showed how to get into Matic without getting into Ethereum, kind of like wrapping around with the Phantom network, which is kind of interesting. You can't really get Matic in there though. You can get the USDT in there. I still don't know how to get Matic in there without this one Ethereum swap. So I'm still. There's a way though. There's a way, and I'm gonna crack the code. You know. So that's what I like to do. I like to play with chains now. Like, I was just a trader. Now I found myself yield farming, trading, like just surrounded with all of this stuff. And now I'm like, my Patreon isn't not like, because now I'm like, no, my Patreon is, you don't just join my Patreon just to like learn how to, like, we are technical analysis. I do want, I hit you with that. You just saw me go over a wedge, a bear pennant, and a head and shoulder all in like a minute and a half. And like, you can see that like I'm strictly a pattern trader. I love it to death. It's my passion, but I love cryptocurrency even more, like the space, I think, as a whole. And, whenever I add a new mainnet to my MetaMask wallet, I get a little giddy like a schoolgirl, like I find these things awesome and interesting, Crob, just imagine they have their own treasury. They can buy the latest rocket, but won't pay developers to get it going further. A community like Linux, what they pretend to have at cheap labor. So you talk about Matic? I don't know. It's like Tenacious Tim. Shout out to Tenacious Tim, man, from Vegas, man, my dude. I hear you both. I needed a break too. Ugly out there. Rando, more volume needed on your end. That's what he said. All right, let me boost him up a little bit. We've been doing this long enough. No one said anything, but appreciate it. Don't know, Mike. I'm trying to see. Anyone have let's see. Dope conversation. Thank you very much. Let's see. Time to look at what we need, not what the banksters wail and control in the space. Crypto Dingo ADA is not as decent as people think. It promotes the current tyranny in the spandemic. I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, no. A Boston hater right there. Anyway, Randy, roll it up from Joshua Oakley. I don't know what that means, but ZK roll-ups? Is that what we're talking about? Okay, so, KuCoin stack. Anyone have a really awesome question, man, please? Like, it would be awesome if someone had an amazingly intelligent question. Make the lifers, like, look like we actually, are a respectful, nice group of people here. A, to have their own treasury, but cheap labor with the dictator style. Lifer, can you say how much VeChain or other alts you sold in percentage? I sold all my VeChain, every penny, but I got in under a penny and a half, and I sold at 10 cents. So, like, in my mind, I 5x my money. So even if VeChain goes all the way to the moon, like, I can always look back and say, well, I 5x my money, And
also, it's important to take profits. I think, and sometimes I take profits too early. Like, it's difficult to, you can't have every top. You can't call every top. You can't call every bottom. But taking profits along the way is important, because if you don't, what can happen is you can lose money. Yep. So, like, and I did not sell anything at the end of 2017, 2018. I hodled through a whole entire bear market, and it was
Me too, man.
brutal.
Me too. Me
3
too.
years. 3 years I hodled through there, and I was like, man, if I would have sold at $20,000 or even close to there, if I would have sold at 16,000 back when Bitcoin was like $3,000, I was like, if I would have sold at 16,000, imagine how much more I could have bought. And that's the thing. It's like
I'd have 40 Bitcoins right now if I had sold the top. I had turned 20 into like 180 grand. Like even if I had gotten out with like 120,000 and that money, I wasn't going to put that money back into like fiat. Like I probably would have, or if I did, it would have stayed in like my Coinbase account waiting to buy. Like it wasn't going to go out into my bank account, And then Bitcoin went down to what? It went to 3,000 and I would have put 100 grand in there. Or even if I put in 50 grand. And I look back and I said to myself, like numerous times I looked at my wife, like I should be holding 50 Bitcoins right now. Like I can't, like, but it is what it is. It was a hard lesson to learn. And that's why I didn't want to see my VeChain go to $5,000. And I said, if it goes to 20K, I'm okay. But if I see my investment go to 5,000, right now I'm sitting on 11 racks, and I'm like, I was like, no. So I said, you know what? And you know what? If I see more bearish tones and if my TA tells me that the probability is extremely likely, then why am I going to sit there and watch my portfolio go flop and grow for a freaking month and a half? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's what I did these 5 years of TA for. Like, that's what I put in the work for. Like, so I can finally put my foot down and say, I'm not going to listen to my emotions anymore. I'm not going to tell you guys that probably, be honest, it's very hard for me to scale out of my, like, I don't like to sell and buy back my Bitcoin. Personally, it's a personal choice of mine. Like, I squirrel it away and I keep it away from my hands so that I cannot do those things. I have an account where like once that address gets that send, like I've made a commitment to myself. Like it doesn't leave. That's a black hole. That's just a black hole. And like, just, because I can't trust myself. I know once it enters the realms, like, maybe it'll go into Matic for a week or two. I just don't know. You know what I'm saying? I start trading with it, and I'd rather just keep a portion where it's supposed to be at all times.
Well, there's a saying that the market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. And I reminded myself of that the whole entire bear market, because it was just like, I knew that Bitcoin was something, but I was like, there's just craziness going on. But there's also another saying that, you can keep your Bitcoin in cold storage longer than the market can remain irrational. So it's just like, you just gotta wait. It's the thing is, most of us retail traders have a totally different time frame than the guys who are manipulating the market.
Mm-hmm.
All of these BSDs out there, the big swinging something that begins with a D, that all of these guys
Deutschmarks
that are manipulating the market, they have a totally different time frame with money. They don't need money. Money to them is just like it makes them feel good. They play with it. It's a game.
Well,
but
a
lot of us need money to live on, and so we have different time frames.
Yeah.
They're fine buying Bitcoin now. Ray Dalio, Carl Icahn, they're fine buying Bitcoin at 35,000, at 25,000. Doesn't matter to them, because they can see that in 10 years, it's going to be worth 100,000, 500,000, $1 million for Bitcoin.
Yep.
They're totally fine with that 10-year time frame.
Yeah.
Most of us, we need this time frame now. Like, this is our bull cycle. What's happening to this?
Yeah.
So it's different time frames, and you just have to protect yourself to where you can survive to that longer time frame.
It's funny you said that, because, and I'm teaching everyone, like, I have a strategy, basically gives me a 68% chance to win and what I do is I learn how patterns were formed, and I learned that divergences trade patterns. So like I back engineered every single pattern that I ever found for hours on end until I saw trends, and I learned, okay, if I can find the divergence at the bottom of the trend line and buy into that after it occurs, and get really good at figuring it out and finding it, which I spent like 5 years doing literally, and like kept back testing it and owning it. And that's kind of what I teach. I teach people to hone in on how patterns are formed with divergences. And so like, not only am I a pattern trader, but there's a reason I found out why the patterns are made. you know? And it's funny, like I got Market Cipher and I used it for a little while, and then I went back to my old system. And then one day I was doing my old system, and I said, oh my God, I know where the green dots are going to be. I figured it out. And like I did a bunch of divergences, and I was like, they're all going to be here. And then I turned on Market Cipher, and the green dots were, I made blue lines and said, and showed everyone on my live stream, watch guys, you're going to see the green dot. All it is finding divergence for you. Like that's what it's doing, you know? And so I started seeing, how the Bollinger Bands are the same thing if you put 5 moving averages on. There's no difference. And when they get wide, that's the Bollinger Bands is assessing divergence of, and that's what the MACD is, moving average convergence and divergence. It's figuring out when the moving averages get wide and close, and it's adjusting the movement of momentum. Like I back engineered all the oscillators on my own by staring at the charts for hours. Like, and I was just amazed in what you can see in the market. It's just fascinating, you know? And whenever moving averages get really tight, that's a really good time to try to buy back in. One thing that I'm very hung up on is every time I look at Bitcoin on the weekly chart, it tells me it's only been in this position on the stochastics 5 times in the last 4.5 years. And it tells me instinctively as a trader, a trader who trades against the trend, that I really need to be buying in right now. Like, not a lot, but I'll be honest with you. Let's say if I had 20 grand on the sidelines, I would put in like about 25% of it in the last few weeks, from between 33 and 49K, you know? And whenever that alternative me is at 10, in the last 4 years, how I made the biggest trades of my life, like you said, like were long-term trades. Like the biggest trade of my life to this day is dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin from right when the bear market ended, from 2018 February all the way. And I still have a $200 a month buy that goes off on the 25th of every month. It just does it without me even caring about it. Like, and then when I'm ever in a good mood, I throw an extra couple hundred on there whenever I see a big dip or there's a down dip.
You have to look at every indicator that we have says that what's going on right now is not normal for Bitcoin, and is definitely not a top. And the next top we're going, like, if you look at Bitcoin adjusted for the amount of money that they printed,
you're funny, man.
If you look at Bitcoin for the amount of money they've printed, the bull run hasn't even started. So it's like,
well, I did look at Glassnode's on-chain data, and it said that the wallets that hold, we corrected, but ever since we've gone down again, there's divergence. Like there's divergence now. There's bullish divergence on Glassnode on the amount of wallets holding 100 to 1,000 Bitcoins. It's gone up in the last 3 weeks, while Bitcoin has kind of gone sideways, and it's gone up sharply. Like it's like a 45-degree angle. Like it's pretty nasty, you know. I think you pulled it up on your end. I've pulled it up. I've been looking at it. We've seen. And so how are more people acquiring more Bitcoin if we're in a bear market?
Because here's how. The price that we look at and the charts that we look at is a better indicator of sentiment than actual value. And I think I don't have any evidence to back this.
So there's emotional fluff. There's an emotional buffer added to the areas of pricing.
Not even a buffer. The price,
a premium, a kimchi premium.
The price that we see on exchanges is sentiment. That's what we see. Whereas these wallets with greater than 1,000 Bitcoin, they don't buy on exchange.
OTC low, like Coinbase.
So they're not. Right? Yeah. So they're not. Yeah, they're not buying that. That's not affecting the price. We don't see that for months to come, because we see all of that large amounts of Bitcoin going to those wallets. We see that in a basically supply shock. Mm-hmm. Once the momentum changes, once we're done with this shakeout, and people try to start buying Bitcoin, it's just not there. So they're trying to buy less and less Bitcoin, which sends the price up even more. So
do you think we could have? I mean, what you just said logically suggests a trampoline type of occurrence. Like, I mean, I was hearing rumors even in the bull run, right? Consistently. people were going to on-chain data and they were watching this wallet that told me it was the Coinbase, and they were like, Coinbase just unloaded, like they just took 10,000 Bitcoin off the exchange to sell to somebody. Like, they're dipping into their own supplies to sell to some big, I don't know who. Can that be corroborated? Is that true? Am I doing hearsay here? I 80% true, I believe. I didn't look at the data myself. I don't know where to find that actual data, but I just kept hearing rumors consistently.
Let's look at it on a different way of looking at it. A year ago, Bitcoin was probably around like $8,000 or so. All right, somewhere around there. Now, a year ago, we did not have MicroStrategy in Bitcoin. We did not have Tesla in Bitcoin. We did not have Ray Dalio in Bitcoin. We did not have Carl Icahn in Bitcoin. We did not have Robert Kiyosaki as big in Bitcoin as he is. All of these people.
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban. He was
freaking billionaire.
He was totally anti-Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. All these people, they were not in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies a year ago. Now they're in it, and Bitcoin went from like $8,000 then to $35,000 now. You think it's only 4 times more valuable? I don't think so. But the thing is, the price we see is just a sentiment indicator. And because we're fearful, and because we don't know where the bottom is, the price will keep tanking. Because every time we sell, that sends the price down. And guess who's sitting on the sideline to buy it up? The BSDs.
Randy. Crypto love. The BSDs. All day long, man. The bright, sunny daisies. Just remember the last time Phantom was 28 cents, how it tripled in a short time. ADA can double, but Phantom can 10x even more. I'm with that. I'm with you, man. Bitcoin is gold, but FOMOing on a whale-controlled coin will never serve mankind fairly. Sure, it's great to own, but we really need to look for something the parasites can't touch in large numbers, or FUD. Altruism first. Shout out to Altruism first. Your name alone. He's always definitely on a higher frequency. What do you think of that? I mean, does he have a valid point there, or is like Bitcoin the best we got now? I mean, I think one of the things that Bitcoin has that almost no other altcoin has is the anonymity of the founder. I think that's one of the greatest things that Bitcoin has. Now, granted, it could have been the government that created it. Who knows? As just a test for digital currencies, it could be. But because we don't know who founded Bitcoin, it gives it some protection. Well, I kept saying this the other day. I said you could go into XRP. Let's just say Coin B. I'm the CEO of Coin B, and I freaking get in a car accident one day, and I'm out. Right? I'd be going to a coma, and I'm supposed to show up to a big meeting one day. Like, that's not going to affect the coin. Yeah. Bitcoin has no CEO.
Where the government says cryptocurrencies are done, Vitalik Buterin shut it down, and he would probably shut down Ethereum. He might. I don't know.
I don't think he can at this point.
Who knows?
I don't think he can. I think it's law, right? Like Charles would be like, "Don't you touch my ETH."
Right, but I mean, here's the thing: the U.S. government, they have
those damn BSDs. Someone.
I mean, they have the power in the form of these big aircraft carriers in the middle of the ocean. Okay. Because of that, they can basically force the hand of anybody. But they can't force the hand of Satoshi Nakamoto because nobody knows who the heck it is.
What if it was them? There's ideas. Have you ever gone into this idea? Satoshi Nakamoto means Central Intelligence. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. The NSA had a whole white paper like 13 years ago about this thing. Yeah.
And Joel Katz, right? I mean, our dude from Ripple, right? Wasn't he a high NSA ranking? Like, he was deep in there in cryptography. I mean,
but here's the thing: nobody knows, and I think that anonymity gives it a bit more protection than having a public figure as a CEO or founder or anything like that. But it's not the only solution. This is just the beginning. It's less than 10 years old.
Yep.
It's more than 10 years old, but it's right around 10 years old. So we got time.
Yeah, people don't realize, like, and for it to be even considered the asset. To me, I keep going. I'm a huge Sailor fan, man. I love the guy, man. And honestly, obviously, I have most of my net worth in Bitcoin, so I would have to love the guy. But I would like to believe if I didn't, I guess maybe I wouldn't. But you wouldn't understand. It's like either you understand why you buy Bitcoin or you don't. Like, I put my money, again, I keep going back to my night. Like, maybe people don't have PTSD like me of horrible jobs. And like, I had a boss call me into a room. I still remember, like, you come here. Like, I can still like, and I was like 28 years old at that point. Like, come here? Like, are you serious? Like, and I had to like walk in and be like, answer to, like, I just, man, like the belittling and like, I didn't even get treated that bad. Like, I know people get treated way worse. So, I remember those times, and I keep going back to like, I do not want to put my money in something that I know keeps getting printed by the Federal Reserve. Like, it's almost like I'm almost out of spite. Like, I will continue to put my money into Bitcoin. Like it's almost like the banking can't use it to, every time I take $1 out of the banking system, they can't use it for fractional reserve lending now. Like, every time I buy another $100 worth of Bitcoin, they can't procreate funds. And like, I'm just extracting myself. I'm saying enough is, I watched this video the other day, and I'm not going to get too deep into it, but the lady, Crypto Tips, and she's really interesting. I want you guys to check out her latest video. I want to say anything about it, but go check out her latest video. Super interesting person, Crypto Tips. I don't know if you've ever seen her stuff. Yeah. Super interesting person, man. I just found her. Like, I've seen some of her videos, but just really got into her the other morning. Her video popped into my feed, and I spent like 3 or 4 minutes, 3 or 4 different videos of hers I watched. And yeah, so I will just continue to buy Bitcoin, because I don't care. I really don't, man. I know why. To me, it's the frequency of the action that makes me feel like I'm doing. And if it is a Fed coin, if it was CIA, who knows, man? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm always willing to believe I'm trying to find my truth, and I don't know exactly what it is yet, until the day I pass. And maybe even then I'll still be on that search. So, and this is part of it. So I'm not saying we know exactly what's going to happen. But it's funny. I laughed earlier because there was times during this interview where like you had me just like convinced we were going to be in a bear market forever. You were like, should have went longer. Like, it was done. And then there was times in this interview where you had me completely convinced that there's that it's all good and we're raising up. And so
we're at the crux of 2 different cycles. On a long-term thing, Bitcoin is the most bullish now it's ever been. On a shorter term, it is very bearish, mostly fear related. And I think a lot of fear is strong. Mm-hmm. Like, it makes people do crazy things. And I think there's a lot of fear because, listen, I'll be honest, when Bitcoin jumped from like $10,000 to $60,000, I was like, that was really fast.
I almost said to my wife, this is a little scary. I said it was a little scary to me. The other day I was looking out the window, I looked at my account, and I said to my wife, I'm like, it's a little scary. Like, I never thought I was going to be, I was like, I'm happy. I'm like, this is great. I'm like, but this feels kind of like weird, like, wow, like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so it's playing on that fear. Like, all of us have that fear within us, and it's just playing on that fear. But, that's why I say you need to protect yourself so you can survive, but have a different time frame. Start having a time frame of a BSD, and before you know it, you'll be a BSD.
Yeah, you'll extends will work for you. Jimmy Johnson, man, those commercials used to get me. All
right, well, I gotta get going.
Yo, I had a blast, man. Every time we kick it. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. You're awesome, man. One of the, again, and I just wanted my gratitude to you, man. A lot of people that I've tutored, that I've met, that are in my group now said, hey, I found you on Crypto Love's channel. And, after listening to what you guys said and your conversations and how passionate you are, I was like, these are my guys. I was like, he was my number 1 guy. And once he put you on his channel, like, you became my number 2 guy. Like, and so, cause like, you may have a big channel, but like, I believe you do have a cult following too, of people that like, they love you, man. Like, crypto love is real. Like, the love is real. And, I've extended that frequency into my group. You know what I'm saying? And I use the word love a lot. Like, I'm not afraid to have say it during my live streams. And you know, I just want to say, man, I love you for everything you're doing for the channel and for what you've done for me and my channel, man. And it just, you know, for always being cool, always being open. You're awesome. You know, you're awesome, man.
Dude, my pleasure. You're doing the hard work and you're doing good work.
Thanks, man. Yeah.